It's a rare day in election 2016. With 29 days to go until the first in the nation primary, only one candidate was in New Hampshire today. That candidate, Donald Trump. Of course, the conventional wisdom about Trump is that he's unpredictable, and that's part of why voters like him. But after a town hall event in Windham today, Adam Riley's decided Trump is a lot more predictable than many think.
Wherever he goes and whoever he's speaking to, Donald Trump does the same three things. First, he talks up his own greatness.
Packed houses all over, no matter where we go. I have millions and millions of followers. Obviously, I should have been picked as the person of the year, right?
Next, Trump mocks the losers who've dared to take him on.
Bush, what is Bush doing? The guy has spent, think of it, the guy has spent $69 million. Karl Rove, George Will, take away his little glasses.
And then Trump tells the crowd that when he's in charge, America will go from being a loser to a winner, just like him.
Then they attacked me, and they all went down. Wouldn't it be nice if we had that with our country, where somebody does something bad to us and they go down? And we're not going to be laughed at for being stupid?
And that is Trumpism, a simple cocktail of ego, anger, and hope. The surprises come on the margins when Trump slots a new person or phrase into his formula. Today, that meant jabs at Bill Clinton.
Bill joined Hillary. So far, it's not working out so well.
Ted Cruz.
Is he a natural-born citizen?
And Bernie Sanders.
But I want to run against Bernie. That's my dream. That's my dream.
All that said, there was one big surprise today in Windham. We've been told that we can't leave the media holding pen until Trump is done speaking with voters out there. It's not entirely clear why that decision's been made. Apparently, it's come down from the Trump campaign. Presumably, by the time you see this, I will have been released, along with everybody else, and we'll be back in Boston. Adam Riley, WGBH News.
I'm sure you'll be relieved to know Adam did make it back in one piece. Meanwhile, as Trump touts his double-digit lead in the latest New Hampshire polls, Bernie Sanders is having a pretty good day as well. An NBC Wall Street Journal Marist poll out yesterday puts him 4 points ahead of Clinton in New Hampshire. That's on the heels of a Fox News poll out Friday, which had Sanders 13 points up, and he's now within the margin of error in Iowa. Part of the swing could very well be an asset possibly turned liability for Clinton, as Adam mentioned, Bill Clinton, whose name was first invoked after an accusation Hillary Clinton made against Trump late last month.
It's not the first time he's demonstrated a penchant for sexism.
In response to that, Trump tweeted out, "Hillary, when you complain about a penchant for sexism, who are you referring to? I have great respect for women. Be careful." From there, Trump took on Bill Clinton's sexual history at numerous events, a strategy that the New York Times addressed in an editorial over the weekend, which declared, quote, "Voters will judge that one," referencing whether Bill Clinton would help Hillary on the campaign trail. But Trump is way out of line bringing up Mr. Clinton's philandering. So is he way out of line? Joining me to discuss it are Ellen Fitzpatrick. Ellen teaches political history at UNH. Her upcoming book, The Highest Glass Ceiling, Women's Quest for the American Presidency, chronicles the challenges faced by other women who tried to take the road to the White House. Lauren Dezensky is from Massachusetts Playbook and Politico reporter who's been covering the 2016 race. Good to see both of you. So is he, Trump, way out of line bringing this stuff up, Ellen?
Well, I think it's not really on point to be saddling Hillary Clinton with her husband's indiscretions. If we are going to take on every presidential candidate who had a spouse who strayed in their marriage, and even in a very public way, as Clinton did, as Bill Clinton did, I think it's going to be a pretty empty political culture we'll be looking at.
Juanita Broaddrick, though, tweeted over the last few days, and she would say, in fact, she will say in a second, this isn't about Bill Clinton. It's about what Hillary Clinton did. Here's the tweet. "I was 35 years old when Bill Clinton, Arkansas Attorney General, raped me, and Hillary tried to silence me. I'm not 73. It never goes away." Of course, I have no idea if it's true.
Right.
But she's talking about Hillary Clinton's role in this, not what Bill Clinton did before the fact.
Yeah, well,
that's relevant, is it not?
Hillary Clinton did not rape Juanita Broaddrick.
Right, but she may have tried to silence Juanita Broaddrick. We don't know. That's a legitimate issue, is it not?
It's a legitimate issue to raise for those who feel that this is an important theme and something to be explored in Hillary Clinton's presidency, her campaign for the presidency. But it's an old story that has been long investigated.
But it's not an old story for millennials. You're a millennial, is that a safe
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not an old story. You didn't live through, I mean, except as a kid, through Monica Lewinsky and Broderick and Kathleen Wiley. It's fairly new to your generation of young voters. which makes it, I don't know if it's fair game, but game at least, no?
I mean, I think it's somewhat public knowledge, I think, for younger voters to be aware of President Clinton's indiscretions. But I think what's also worth noting is that the Clinton campaign has Bill Clinton out stumping for Hillary Clinton, the candidate. And one of the planks on, her platform is standing up for sexual assault survivors and things like that. And so when Bill Clinton is tied to the Hillary Clinton campaign in that way, it does open up, Bill Clinton for greater scrutiny, I think, than just simply him being her spouse.
If anyone has ever had greater scrutiny for their sexual behavior in public life and for the dynamics of their marriage than Bill and Hillary Clinton, I don't know who it is.
But Ellen, let's use Hillary Clinton's own words. She was questioned at a town hall meeting in New Hampshire. The question from someone in the audience: you say that all rape victims should be believed, but what would you say about? But would you say that about Juanita Broaddrick, Kathleen Wiley, and Paula Jones? Should we believe them as well? And here's Clinton's response.
I would say that everybody should be believed at first until they are disbelieved based on evidence.
Yet again, I happen to agree with you. I don't really care what Bill Clinton did, nor, in my opinion, at least should the voters. The issue is, what did Hillary Clinton do or not do, and what is Hillary Clinton saying and not saying? That's also relevant. If she's saying, I think it's back to what Lauren says, if she's saying we have to believe rape victims, we have to believe victims of sexual assault, well, there are at least a handful of women who say her husband is a sexual assaulter.
But that really was not the issue that precipitated this. The issue was her raising the question of sexism
On the part of Trump.
in the Trump campaign.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, if a professional woman who has served in the Senate, who has run for president twice, who's been Secretary of State, who had a long career as a lawyer, and who is the age that Hillary Clinton is, and has lived through the changes in the modern women's movement and in women's lives, can't raise the issue of sexism.
Of course she can.
Something's very wrong.
But he can respond, no?
Sure.
But I think
He's
a lot
free
of
to
this lends
respond.
itself to Donald Trump's ability he has the media wrapped around his finger. He is able to change the conversation and to change the narrative in a way that we're talking about this, as opposed to Hillary Clinton's qualifications on
By the
any
way,
other
before people
issues.
send angry email, the lead editorial in the New York Times yesterday was talking about this. And also, there are a lot of differences, I think. The first difference is Donald Trump will do anything that others would not. I assume if Juanita Broaddrick is willing to appear in a commercial, she'll be in a commercial. There's Bill Cosby as backdrop. There's the issue of rape on college campuses as a backdrop. So whether it's fair or not, Ellen, and let's assume you're right for argument's sake, the environment at which Trump is leveling these charges makes it a far more dangerous proposition for Clinton, don't you think? Whether it should be or not.
Dangerous, it's defining the conversation, because that's what we're talking about tonight, as is being talked about throughout the Trump campaign, is defining this conversation. If the media continues to follow his lead and allows him to define it in these terms, yes, this will be the conversation.
He's the leading candidate, not the media. The Republican
Yes, I'm
primary
aware of
voters
that.
say they
I'm
are
aware of
supporting
that.
him more than anybody else. And
Yes.
so when that person speaks,
Yeah.
we don't have an obligation
But any
to discuss what he says.
it's certainly
if it's
fair. It's certainly fair and important to discuss it. But any charge that is made, however credible or groundless, we're talking about this as
That's why
if
you're
Bill
here.
Clinton was convicted of rape.
No, you've said this like 3 or 4 times. First of all, you say he's paid settlements, I should say. But yet again, the accusations leveled by Trump, and I'm not defending them at all, are leveled at her. They're not leveled at him.
Right,
He's talking about how she is behaved in the wake of the behavior
Right.
of her. I have one last thing before you go. Can we just quickly, this is another thing Hillary Clinton said on the campaign trail about her gender, which I actually knew even before she said it. Here it is.
I think being the first woman president would be quite a change from the presidents we've had up until this point.
Very quickly from both of you. We all know she's a woman. And often the rule of politics, and you've written a book about women seeking that office. Why is it wise to say what we all know, or should we just all know it without her having to underline it? What do you think about the strategy?
To raise the fact that
By her
she's-
raising that I'm a
she's-
woman, yes. Not
that-
I'm a
that
woman,
she
she's
should-
a woman.
she
yeah.
should not-
Well, I'm asking you, do you think it's wise or just let...
Absolutely, it's wise.
Reinforces it?
All of the polling suggests that She is much more popular among women. Women vote more often than men do.
They do.
They're Democratic voters more often than they're Republican voters. So politically, yes, I think it's wise.
You're nodding your head, you're in agreement.
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking at Donald Trump seizing on this conversation about sexual assault. We're looking at Hillary Clinton seizing on the conversation of feminism. You know, she's also riding, you know, she's following what people are paying attention to.
On that point, we got to go. Ellen, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much. Lauren, pleasure to see you as well.
Likewise.
Thanks so much for your time. You too.